You know, it's a busy summer for my next guest, hosting both the Euros and the Olympics. Gabby Logan notes she's also on a mission to prove that midlife is a time for thriving and not just surviving. I like that. She's taken all the expertise that she's learnt from her podcast, The Midpoint, and she's written a new book. It's called The Midpoint Plan, and joins me now. And I like this because you've amassed all of this knowledge doing the podcast and just being, you know, just living your life. And it's now all in here.
Yeah, I felt like you can't assume everybody's listening to every episode.
Sure.
And I'd come away from every episode thinking, well, I've learned something new today. And I talk to friends and I'm regaling them with things that I've learned from experts or people like you coming on the podcast and inspiring us to really get hold of midlife and, do those things you want to do, make those health changes. So I decided to get the best of it all down on paper.
Well, it's a great idea. It's an action plan, really, isn't it? You know? And it's sort of, you're right about the fact that sometimes we think, oh, well, we've got to take it easy now. Or no.
Got to push on.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's this kind of mindset that the midlife, if you want to call it, anything from 40 all the way up, that somehow it's changed. It's got more positive, hasn't it?
It certainly has. I think that we're learning that in terms of exercise, as you point to there, you can't slow down. To look after your health, you've got to keep moving. You've got to eat as well as you can to ward off all kinds of diseases later in life. And it's never too late to make those changes. And I think personally, I'm looking to the future thinking, what kind of old age do I want? I want to be active. I want to feel like I can do what I want to do mentally and physically. And this is the time, if you do need to make some changes and tweaks, to change things. And the reason it's called a plan is because at the end of every chapter, and we divide the book into mind, body and soul, is that there's a kind of list of takeaways and things that you can just put into action and think, right, OK, small steps, small changes, maybe big changes. Some people make huge changes in midlife. There's lots on relationships and, family and all the things that we're all going through. So, yeah, hopefully it will be a bit of a kind of warm blanket of midlife.
No, that's really good. And it's kind of thing, you keep it by your bedside and you sort of go, let me have a look at that. But you're right, you don't have to do every single one at the end.
No.
But even if you just do a couple, it's up to you how to do it. We want to be more David Attenborough.
Yes.
Did you see him at Wimbledon?
I know. I want to be going to Wimbledon in my 90s.
So do I, and looking like that. And but the thing is, he is one of these people, and you're the same, because especially because of the job you do, you have to be curious, wanting to know things, interested in the world. You know, that's the thing, I think, that keeps you young and keeps your mind young.
And that means, sometimes it means talking to people you wouldn't ordinarily talk to, reading things you wouldn't read, listening to things that challenge your opinions and putting yourself in situations that sometimes can be a bit uncomfortable. It might be socially, moving outside your comfort zone. I'm in a book club. Tomorrow night I'm going with a group of friends to do some art. I'm a terrible artist, but we're all going to do some painting.
Doesn't matter.
Doing the stuff that you feel, that's not for me. Actually, I'll try it, and trying new sports or new hobbies, joining in, having community. The blue zones of the world, you've probably heard of these areas where they have incredible longevity. One of the things, aside from their great diets and their lifestyles, it's purpose and feeling like you've got a purpose in your day and you're doing, so whether you have a career in midlife or whether you have decided not to work anymore, there's always stuff to do. And I think, the busiest people I know seem to be the most youthful and they seem to have a lot of energy. I've got a lot of good role models in my family, with my mum, my auntie Jane, who just seems to be the busiest. She's in her mid-70s, she's so busy and she's, always active. And
but you're right, try things. It doesn't matter if you're not very good, just give it a go. It's OK, be open to new things. And I honestly think that you've got to just push yourself a bit. I mean, for goodness sake, you did a half marathon with your daughter, didn't you?
Halfway
not all
around,
be able to do that, but
well, but even if it's not half marathon,
it doesn't matter.
Couch to 5K, or my daughter, who's 18, she's 19 at the end of July. We did it together in April, and she'd never run one before, and it had been 25 years, I think, since I'd run a half marathon. So it was quite an interesting kind of meeting in the middle. And we got to mile 12 of 13, and she said, "I've got a confession to make." And I'm thinking, well, this is a funny time to start opening up to me. She said, "I didn't do all the long runs on the training," so I kind of was dragging her to the finish line. But it was such a lovely experience to do with my daughter, and given her a real bug for running, and she's going to keep doing it.
Oh, so. your kids are sporty. Of course they would be. They would be.
Well, they see us being active and sporty, and I think it's been kind of part of their lives.
Is Kenny recovered after Scotland getting kind of booted out of the Euros?
Yeah, he was as disappointed as you were, I'm sure, Lorraine. He made the train journey to Stuttgart for the final group game. And he said him and Ruben had a fantastic 2 days in spite of the football.
Exactly.
And I think that was...
Exactly. We had a brilliant time in Germany, and then the game started.
It was a bit of a sucker punch ending to that match.
But you know what? Great.
The Scotland fans are missed from this tournament, I think. You know,
no Scotland, no party, Gabby.
Did you see it in Cologne? The mayor of Cologne wrote a tweet saying, thank you for coming. I mean, you know, when do football fans get that?
They should just let us in. We shouldn't have to qualify now. Just say, look, if you let us in, we're going to bring the Tartan Army with us. They go, OK, you're in.
Everybody, I think the Scottish Tourist Board should be thanking every single one of those fans, because people will be thinking, where is this magnificent country that all these people come from?
We must go there. We must go there. You've got the Olympics coming up.
Yeah.
That's when you have to do tons of homework.
Yeah, a lot of research.
So much homework.
I think I'm lucky because I love what I do. So I come off the back of the Euros and I enjoy all the football that I've been covering. And then I go towards the Olympics and I'm, you know, busy reading all the kind of athletics results that are going on and the US trials, the British trials, and I just love it. And I can't wait for the Olympics. This is the 5th one I've worked on for the BBC, and it is literally, for me, it's like kind of Disneyland of sport. You know, you kind of go in and they're all there, all these incredible sports people, inspiring all of us,
wonderful.
Doing extraordinary things.
It's
and
the
it's
Paralympics.
In Paris, so the
Paralympics
afterwards.
Are great, aren't they?
Yeah.
I really love that. And it's funny how we all get terribly knowledgeable about things like trampolining.
Oh, well, this summer, Lorraine, you will decide that you are a breakdancing expert, because that's the new sport in the Olympics.
Exactly.
And you will know every single move.
And you get to know all the jargon, and you know, it's great, isn't it?
It is. And you know, it's for everyone, the Olympics, isn't it? You know, kind of every size, shape, you know, kind of every country in the world represented.
Brilliant.
And it's a real, I think at the moment, we need that unity globally, don't we? And
Definitely.
feel like we come together. So.
Do you know what? You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. That might be, I would like to think, a sort of, a really unifying
experience,
event.
yeah.
If the Olympics can't do it, I don't know what can. Gabby, the Midpoint plan, it's out tomorrow, isn't it?
It is out tomorrow.
Happy publication day for tomorrow.
Thank you so much. Thank
you. It's a plan, and obviously inspired by the podcast. You can download that.
And obviously you feature as well. In fact, what you just said there about being curious, that was one of the things that I took away from your episode.
I say it all the time. It's not mine, it's Michael Palin's. Sir Michael Palin.
Well, he's not a bad person to lead us all into a healthy, great older age, is he?
Exactly. That's very true. Thank you so much. Great to see you.
For coming.
Thank you
for coming. Thank you for coming on to my
that's
show.
great. I love that. Do you remember Morecambe and Wise at the end of Morecambe and Wise, and that woman used to come on going, thank you for coming on my lovely show.
Thank you for having me.
Listen, anytime.
I am going to go, don't worry.
No, you can stay. Loads more still to come.